It's not when you take refuge in the Noble Triple Gem that the Noble Triple Gem becomes the only refuge. Whether you like it or not, the Noble Triple Gem is the only refuge. The Dhamma is the only refuge. What religion you are, where you come from, which walk of life you come from, what creed you are, what race you are, what gender you are, what religion you are, how much you have or how much you don't have, whether you're educated or uneducated, it doesn't matter. Big or small, light or heavy, it matters not. Whether you're a beast that roams the earth or a great bird that soars the skies, it matters not. The heart, the mind, will always remain unfulfilled. In the same way that you, when you want to eat something, when you feel like you want to eat something, you have to eat it, in the same way the dog behaves. When the dog wants something, it wants it. When a dog wants something, it wants it. It's just that they don't have any rules, regulations, customs, norms in that world, so everything is fair play. But in human life, we have rules, regulations, this is what we call civilization. The only difference between us and animals is they're not civilized. In other words, if you want it, go and get it. But among humans, we have something called a civilization. If you want it, there's a way to go and get it. You can't just go and get it. That's the difference. But some, they don't care about that. They just go and get it. That's why we call them uncivilized people. And usually they end up behind iron bars because they are not allowed. They do not have what it takes to be among the civilized. Not by my account. That's what people say. That's what the book will say. So then they take them behind prison bars, behind iron bars, and they try to civilize them by giving them the Dhamma. Yes? By giving them the Dhamma. Not by giving them the Dhamma. By giving them punishment. Not even by giving them love and affection. Just by giving them punishment. But punishment was not what they were lacking. Just think about this. If a man's hungry, what do? Beat him. That does the job, doesn't it? Beat him, beat the hell out of him. If a man's hungry, beat him. That works, doesn't it? And then at the end of that beating, give him a good thrashing. At the end of that, he doesn't feel hungry anymore. You agree with my statement? No. Okay. A man feels that he wants something, even if he has to get it at someone else's expense. What do? Beat him. That seems like the simplest answer, isn't it? Beat him. And what happens at the end of that beating? He no longer wants it. Really? People need to realize that the reason that people go after things is because there's a void that needs filling. It's like a vacuum that needs to be filled. If you empty your lungs for only a few seconds, what do you want to do next? If you exhale and hold your nose and your mouth at the same time, how long can you be like that until you get beaten? Until you get beaten? Is that what you want? No, you just want to fill your lungs with air. That's what you need. Beating is not the answer. My point is this, it's not whether the prison systems work or whether punishments work. That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to get you to focus on this one truth. All minds, if they are vexing, it's because there's a void that is not filled. There's no point whatsoever trying to fill that void with anything other than the truth, meaning. That is the only meaningful thing to do. I'm trying to help you figure, ladies and gentlemen, what you're doing here. I don't mean just at the monastery, but when you're at the monastery, that is all you're doing. But even when you're not at the monastery, the only thing that is worth doing is to fill your mind up with the Dhamma. Nothing else matters. And I'm not saying this to you because I'm a monk and that's all I'm doing in my life now. I have no other option because I'm a monk, and for you to give me some alms, I have to be practicing the path. No, that's not why I'm sharing this truth with you. This is the only purposeful, meaningful thing to do. Because there are only two states of mind you're in. You're either happy or you're sad. Yeah, you're either fulfilled or you're disappointed. Either good or bad. These are the two states of mind that you're in. And whenever you're in a sad situation, whenever you're in a bad situation, whenever you're in a disappointed situation, distressed, anger, frustration, disappointment, all of these things put in one bundle, right? Whenever that goes on, the reason for that is because the Dhamma is lacking somewhere. That is the only reason. Mentally, if you're suffering for anything, the only reason is some part of the Dhamma you still haven't understood. There is some part of the Dhamma, maybe one point about the Dhamma you've not understood yet. That is the only reason. Don't look for answers anywhere else. If you want to achieve a meaningful existence, don't look for answers anywhere else. The answer might not be obvious to you. Straight off the bat, it may not be obvious to you, but don't look for answers anywhere else. Because here's what happens. If you go looking for answers anywhere else, you'll find something that looks like the answer. There's only one thing that is worse than a lie. That is a lie that looks like the truth. That is worse than a lie. Because a lie, if you know it's a lie, you're not going to buy it. But if a lie disguises itself as the truth, now that's worse than a lie. Because you will buy it, and you will buy it with conviction. You will buy believing in it. You're going to sell yourself to it. You sell yourself to it. That's what happens. So when you have the truth, a lie, and a lie that looks like the truth, in which order do you put them? In terms of good to worse. You have the truth, you have a lie, and you have a lie that looks like the truth. That's the worst kind. Pleasure is that. It's the worst kind of lie. It looks like the truth. So therefore people fall for it. I need you to change that about yourselves. Aspire to a greater mentality. Aspire to a higher truth, ladies and gentlemen. Step out of that routine of whenever you're vexing about something, going after the object of pleasure which you always thought was able to fulfill you. It doesn't. If it did, by now it would have done. It doesn't. Whenever you are in those moments, contemplate on the Dhamma. You've now understood the theory of the Dhamma. You've understood the principle of the Dhamma. You understand the laws that govern happiness, sorrow, vexation, pleasure, all of these things in your mind. Apply. Don't look for answers anywhere else.